Alright, so today, to answer the number one question on everyone's mind, I think, how free-to-play friendly is Honkai Star Rail? What do I have to know? What should I be wary of? And just a quick little breakdown of every system of gacha elements in this game. Today, let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. I think this is a pretty well-made guide or breakdown or information, so leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you. So with it first, to give you a quick, too long didn't read, if you're familiar with Genshin, you know what to expect here. If you didn't play Genshin, don't worry, I will tell you what to expect here. First, when you start off the game, there will be multiple banners you can take a look at. First, you'll find the Departure Warp. On screen, you'll take a look at what the Departure Warp looks like. This is basically if you were to play other gacha games, where it's like a initial freebie banner, where they guarantee you one free unit after a certain amount of pulls, as a little bit of a gesture to be nice, I guess. For our beginner banner, it'll cost you 50 warps. Once you reach 50 warps, boom, you get one of these listed 5 stars, which again, this is the reroll method people are chasing, where they gather the 50 and then, summon, see what happens. If they get what they want, they keep the account. If they don't, they throw it out. Or they're going the other reroll method of continuously creating accounts using the first pre-registration 2 multis, which has no guarantee, and seeing what they get. One of those are the options, but this is that banner that will be there for people that are doing the long and excruciating one, where they try to keep re-rolling the Departure Warp, which takes about 2 to 3 hours for 5 multis to be acquired. Basically a very simple banner. This won't be there beyond this point, so you're just having fun for the launch of the game, and that's it. Very simple. Next up, we get to the other banner, the Standard Warp. The Standard Warp is very standard. It's just a regular banner in every gacha game where you just get characters on here. Maybe after time it gets updated where new characters hit it, but it's just when you get free additional pulls, you spend those pulls. Usually you never want to spend gems on this banner or touch this banner with the premium currency. That's it. A very, very simple banner, and it's nothing too special. The rate for pulling a 5-star character on this banner is a 0.3%, a whopping 0.3%, which is a bit low. 4 stars are at 5.1. You are guaranteed to obtain a 5-star character within 90 pulls. Once you do 300 pulls, you will be able to pick one of the 5 stars available in the banner. So it will take you a few months, maybe a longer time than that, but after 300 pulls have been put into the banner, you can choose one of the 5 stars. So again, by the time they potentially become useless, that's when you can actually pick one. Irony. Again, that's a joke, but maybe the characters aren't the best when other characters drop and the power creep happens, or who knows what happens. But I'm just saying, hey, anything's possible. At 300 pulls, it's a lot of pulls. Next up, we have the character banner, the main banner. This is going to be your featured banner when a new character releases. How banners work in this game, if you play other games like Grand Cross, no, it's not a huge unfeatured pool and a featured character. This is a featured character, so the one character on a rate up, basically the chance to actually guarantee the character, and then 3 other characters that are 4 stars that are also on the banner as, again, 4 stars, unfeatured. That's how that's going to go. And again, that's where my tips came in, and that's what the reason I wanted to make this video is. Remember, for free-to-plays, you have to understand when you are chasing a banner, you have to both look at the unfeatured and the featured roster. For this, you have Zila as the featured character, and the unfeatured characters are pretty good. You have Natasha, which is a healer, which is pretty helpful. The other 2 aren't that bad, but mainly the highlight, in my opinion, is Natasha. And for this, she's a healer character. She is good, and getting constellations or her dupes for her are very good. So remember, in the future, and you'll find this out later in literally the second banner, there is a great supporting roster on that banner. So overall, remember, when you look at banners, you got to take into consideration where your pity is, where your summons are currently, and if it's worth it to maybe throw a multi in or 2 to guarantee one of these characters at 4-star, which again, sometimes it is the case where it's a good idea, and sometimes it's not. It's all situational, but remember, it should be in the back of your head, are these 4 stars good? Are these 4 stars bad? Not only is the main character good or bad, but just look on the side and understand that when you're going in. And now also, you have to understand the pity system in this game. Just like Genshin, you have to go and summon a whopping 180 times to pity a character, which is pretty absurd and insane. Yes, again, people love the Genshin system. You can pull the character early at 90 pulls or somewhat earlier than that if a soft pity kicks in, and that is going to be a 50-50 chance. You have a 50% chance to pull the character you're looking for, or you get an unfeatured character that exists on this banner, which, again, I never liked that system, though people love that system in Genshin and call it the most free-to-play friendly thing ever. Personally, it never really worked for me. I played Genshin for so long, and I went back-to-back for 3 banners straight, pulling characters at 180. I literally lost 50-50 3 times. I don't even know how that's possible. And then when I lost the 50-50, I'm like, oh, everything's okay. I'll pull the character early because, luck has to change at some point. Never happened. So I will always be biased and hate that pity. But again, People will say it's free to play friendly, but the main thing is the pity is very high. So you have to, if you do lose a 50-50, you have to make a good decision here. On the next character you decide to pull, make sure it's a great character that either you love, is broken, or is very useful for a lot of freaking stuff. That is how you should plan out your pities. Again, when you're in the earlier phase of summoning and you're able to just summon freely because you're not having a guaranteed character pop out of nowhere, you have a chance to pull the character and not pull the character because, again, pity transfers. That's a thing where it's like, oh, I can summon freely, I can pull a 4-star if I want to, I can use my summons a little bit more and play a little bit like that, a little aggressive on summoning just in case, right? Versus being on the 50-50 win or lose rather, where now any summon you put in, you could potentially guarantee that character you're looking for, which you may have been looking for somebody else. So you got to understand that. And again, that's something that in Genshin I learned too, where it's like that is where you lose a 50-50, your next pulls are super important because at any point you can use that at a character you love versus summoning accidentally and getting something you didn't care for, but now you have to reach a 180 pity again to guarantee the next character you like, right? So that's there also. But yes, on this banner, I got super digressed, but that's the reason I wanted to make this video, to tell you how important your summons are and how important as a free-to-play, you got to keep them handy and also understand when you will reach pity versus when you won't, so that you at least summon properly. But back to this premium banner, the chance of you pulling a 5-star character is currently set at 0.6%, which is, again, not the highest, okay? Not, the worst in comparison to other games, but it is not the highest. Beyond that, though, the rate of pulling a 4-star character for this banner is 5.1%, which is kind of pretty basic. Again, you have a 50-50 chance to pull this character once you pull a 5-star in the sky. That's how that's going to work. Also, if you lose the 50-50, the next time it'll reach 100% at 180 pulls. There is some sort of soft pity, but we don't know when that kicks off as usual. It's somewhere around the 80 point, but that's that. All right, so keep that in mind. And again, also remember, at the launch of the game, you may not be able to pity the first character unless you're whaling, because again, you have 2 months to pity the character, 1 month until the banner drops, and then 1 month with the banner, which is more or less not enough time to amass a pity. 180 is super high, so trying to reach that is pretty difficult. And in Genshin Impact, it is kind of harder to obtain the currency. There are less events, there are less stat, and personally, it will take some time, though again, the game is semi closer to free to play, if you will argue that, but it will still take time to amass for a character. So always plan ahead, decide what you want, and use your pities wisely, because they matter and they are super hard to achieve again and again. So try your best to aim for characters you love, versus, again, you could also play this game in just summon free. Just summon everywhere freely, have no cares in the world. If you crack the pity, whatever, do whatever you want, it doesn't matter. You can also play like that, though it's a little bit dangerous, but again, play for fun, play for whatever. It's a game. Just have fun. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm just warning you that, again, pities are important. So if you love a character and you don't want to miss that character, save accordingly and try to use that guaranteed pity to your advantage if you lose the 50-50, because that is a saving grace for you, which is super helpful. Beyond that, though, the final banner is a light cone banner. This is basically the weapon banner from Genshin. In order to pull a character here, you need a currency here. Again, the same currency you can buy with those, the premium currency, but with it, the rate for pulling a 5-star light cone is 0.8%. So still a little bit low. To pull a 4-star character at 6.6%, you have a 75% chance of pulling the rate up one when you pull a 5-star. So this too is not a 50-50, or rather, if guarantee, it's not a 50-50 either, 75%. So 1 in a 4 chance you lose, 3 in a 4 chance you win, which I guess it's fine. It could have been a guarantee there. Again, I was never a fan of these systems, but maybe you are, right? Maybe you are. So let me know if you actually did like the Genshin system. But that's how that works. And then when you roll on the, after you lost, you roll again, you have a 100% chance of getting it once you hit a pity or pull it beforehand, right? So that's how that's going to work, which, again, it's 160 pulls till you guarantee it, which I still stand. I never liked that system. But again, we're all different. You may have liked it. Maybe I'm just biased. Who knows? So again, with everything, hopefully you can understand this. I'm going to be probably playing this game as a free-to-play, so I will be joining you in this expedition of torture. Hopefully, the game is more free-to-play friendly. I did see some people talk about income pulls and stuff like that, and it wasn't that bad. I'll cover that in a separate video, but I do feel that this game has potential. I do hope it's a little bit more generous than Genshin Impact, and we see a lot more pulls here and there. Because again, in turn-based games, it's more situational, and it definitely is more strategic and team building, a little bit more than Genshin in my opinion. So I do think more pulls are better than, less, because again, they copied the Genshin system of pity. I'm hoping they have more pulls here, because in turn-based games, it matters. It does make a difference, right? So that's there. But again, you let me know. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a stay safe, peace, and enjoy. That's been it for me. Just a quick little talk about how you should kind of, approach the game and what to know about banners and stuff like that. So again, I hope it was helpful.